performance in that second half. And I mean, I can't believe Yokuslu, after scoring a goal like that, still giving credit to the assist. That is incredible. I'd be taking all the credit for that one. But what a second half performance it was from Mikey Johnson as well, to really get them going in that second half.
Yeah, he's brilliant and he's key. I said before the game, he's so key because he's efficient. I mean, 6 goals from 7 shots. Come on.
He knew exactly.
He knows as well, by the way. Oh, was it Rick? Come on. But no, he was brilliant second half. Makes a big impact in the scoreline and his goals and the assist. But also, West Brom is key that their midfield gets the ball and plays and dictates and waits for the right opportunities to give the ball to Mikey Johnson. So they were good too, but what a second half. Amazing second half. An
incredible turnaround. We often, those of us who don't experience what it's like in dressing rooms, we often think, how much can a manager change things at the break? But whatever Carlos Corberan said at halftime, it absolutely changed it. How impressive is that for a coach to be able to get that complete reaction in that short time?
Well, it's been proactive, isn't it? I mean, one thing about Carlos Corberan is his attention to detail is very good. You know, I've seen that. I've played against Carlos Corberan teams, so I know exactly what you're up against. And listen, whatever he said at half-time is obviously worth a treat in the second half, because, as I said before, you know, the difference it made from that first half show into the second half show was absolutely phenomenal. You know, no shots on goal in the first half, yet for in the second half to score 4 goals. So whatever he said's obviously worked, and I think in the end, over the 90 minutes, West Brom fully deserved to come out winners.
He did shuffle things a little bit, particularly in that forward line, and the opening goal comes from Mikey Johnson, but brilliant play from Weimann down on the right-hand side. There is a slight question as to whether he's onside or not. We will try and show it with some very crude lines, but great play down the right.
Well, yeah, whether he's offside or not, he's still got to make those runs as a forward player. Weimann, excellent. He's right on the edge here. So whether he's offside or not, you're still feeling, okay, I'm going to make the movement anyway, and hopefully I'm not onside. But great run, and there's this little small touch here. He just delays there, puts it through his legs. Great arrival. You're a winger, but there's 10 goals a season in that 6-yard box. And he's just got another one because he didn't stay out on the wing. His movement was inside the box, saying, okay, I'm right here. He picks him out. Great goal, good finish.
I think you're absolutely right there. I mean, if you look back at the run that he makes, where he starts his run from, Mikey Johnson there, he's so determined to get in the box. He knows that there's not a lot of his own teammates in that area, and he's thinking, I need to break my neck to get in that box here. Obviously, the ball comes to him and he puts it away.
Then there was a huge moment from Alex Palmer. He will be disappointed with the goal that West Brom conceded in the first half, but he more than made up for it with some huge saves in the second half. And credit to Huddersfield, they kept going, but this was a big moment in the game, wasn't it?
That was a big moment, yeah. There was another one after this as well. There was a double save. So, you know, he made 3 big stops. I mean, I think this was at 1-1 at this stage in the game. So, you know, that goes in there. It's a completely different game. So it's a big stop, you know, after the first half mistake that he made, to come out and make that stop, and then the further 2 that I just mentioned there, you know, full credit goes to him.
West Brom were really beginning to turn the screw already. I mean, all their goals and that save came in within a 22-minute period within that second half. The second one will not go down as the prettiest goal in the world, but absolutely vital, because once they went ahead, there was no going back, really, was there? Yeah, well, one area, of course, West Brom are strong at set pieces, and they'll get big bodies in the box. Bartley's there to get the final touch, but Yokuslu's there. Bartley's there, and what I love about this, they don't give up. They keep poking away their little toes here. There's a little swing here, a little funny little swing from Yokuslu, but it falls to Bartley, and somehow it's ugly, but it's a goal. Yeah. Who cares? And the celebration as well. That's from a guy that doesn't score many goals, isn't it?
I loved it. Listen, I'd have done the same thing. It was me.
Absolutely. Celebrate them all like the worldies. The third one, though, was an absolute worldie. We touched on it after his interview, but this is the sweetest strike.
Lovely strike. Really, really clean. You know, just rising. You compared it to a golf shot before. It's exactly that. It's a lovely, lovely connection of the ball. Mikey Johnston again, you know, a little dribble from the wing. What he does is he creates havoc and disorganization, and then that allows a little bit of space for Yokuslu to come and say, okay, I'm free. And does he hit this? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Does he hit it? So clean, and it's so easy in that moment to kind of lean back and blaze the ball. As soon as you lean back, the ball goes over.
but he doesn't. He strikes straight through it, great technique, great balance, goal.
Yeah, I mean, we can watch it over and over again, and it's brilliant every time you see it. And it is, like Rob says, just it's not even like he's tried to put so much power on it. It's just catch it as perfectly as you can, and no goalkeeper saving that.
Listen, when you've got the accuracy like that, you know, the keeper's got no chance. As I say, it doesn't look like he's really trying to absolutely smash it, but the technique's just fantastic. It's a wonderful, wonderful goal.
And that got West Brom certainly flying, and I think you said, Tommy, you fancied more goals in this one, and they did come, and it was that man, Mikey Johnson, again. And this is all about the individual technique that Mikey Johnson has, and the ability that he has to take players on. Yeah,
brilliant. He's 1v1, and he loves this situation. Great little play here from Diangana, by the way, because he has to spots him. Now he's 1v1. In this situation, okay, the threat is now, everybody's seen him come inside and bend it into that top corner. So that little threat of that allows the space on the left-hand side, down the side, and he says, okay, that's not on, defenders over covering my right foot, I'll go on my left then. And what I love about it is, I think he sees the goalkeeper coming out with his legs open, and he just passes it calmly, passes it through his legs. But he makes the difference, and what a signing that is. Is that 6 goals, I believe, since signing, since
incredible.
January? Amazing.
How difficult is a player like that to defend against, Tommy, when they can go both ways?
Very difficult. I mean, you see there, Pearson's the one who's trying to keep him away from goal, really, and he knows that he's got that threat of coming inside, as Rob just mentioned there. So he's determined to show him down the line. But when you've got a player who can go down the line and obviously score like he has done there, it makes it very, very difficult, because you know that the winger can go both ways. You sort of and ahhing which way you want to show them. So it can become very difficult.
And we can see a little showcase of, I was going to say his afternoon, but didn't do much in the first half. None of the West Brom players.
Yeah, this is his second half. He didn't do much in the first half.
He's always been considered a confidence player, and we touched on it before the game as well. You can see with a run of games now, getting goals. How much more do you think West Brom can actually get from Mikey Johnson? He's been brilliant so far.
Well, what he has is he has the talent. He's got great qualities. He's quick. He can play 1v1. He can score goals. He's efficient. And what's happening now is he's getting minutes on the pitch. Minutes on the pitch equals that talent. And clearly, they've said to him, go and win us games. And sometimes he seems that type of player that, okay, do you know what I mean? He's got that kind of personality who said, okay, give me the ball. I'll go win us the game. And he's got that confidence. And I love what he's doing right now, because he's saying, this is what I can do.
Yeah, he's certainly taken to the Championship, that is for sure. Well, it was, in the end, a pretty happy homecoming for former Huddersfield boss Carlos Corberan. All 3 points, 4 cracking goals, and it has moved them a little bit further away from that chasing pack in the top 6. So let's get his thoughts after that one. He's with Johnny Phillips.
Carlos, they were 2 very different halves of football. What was it you said at half-time to get that change?
I think that was important after the first half to understand the type of game that we were playing, because in the first half, under the press, we just give a drop in short solutions instead to use the spaces in the back of the defenders, and this fact was creating problems. So we tried to extend or make long attacks in our pitch and quick in attacking half, and the game was just completely the opposite. Was to move fast from the press of them in our pitch and try to extend attacks in attacking half. And sometimes it takes some time for us to understand the game, but I think the players in the second half, they put the right character and the right game understanding to win the 3 points today.
Yes, and even though you haven't got any recognised strikers on the pitch at the moment, do you feel you're a real threat with the wingers you have?
I think it's important for us to can win the games, to score from every type of situation. We need to use the set pieces, we need to use the transition, we need to use the positional attacks. So the important is how much we use the chances that we create, and after to finish the chance, everyone in the front of the team is able to can use the finishing, and of course, Johnston is having a very positive impact for us in terms of the goals that he's scoring.
And we must mention the goalkeeper as well, Alex Palmer, because at key stages of that game, he made some big saves, didn't he?
Yes, especially in the second half, he made a key save that in this momentum, when you concede 1 goal, can change the things. I think it was important in the restart to find the right stability, because we were having a lot of mistakes, some unforced mistakes. It was important to stop, and after, of course, to understand better the game.
And it's not just the 3 points as well, it's what it does for you in the table and away from home as well. It's what the fans have been looking for.
We knew that today was important. We knew that today we will play a tough game. We are in 1 week that we have had 3 games, playing 2 away games, and always to play in away is tough, is difficult, especially when you play against teams that they are fighting to survive too. So I like the fact that I saw the right mentality of my team, especially in the second half.
Thanks for your time, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Well, it was a really big win in the end for West Brom because it moves them a little bit further away. There would have been just the 3 points between them and the 3 below them had West Brom not turned it around in that second half. And Tommy, when you look at that, you know, it's so tight. There's going to be so many twists and turns along the way, but West Brom, vital 3 points for them today.
Absolutely, yeah. As you've just said there, you know, they don't win the game today and Hull are 3 points behind them. So it's so tight, but listen, it's why we love the Championship. You know, it's a bit unusual to see the top 4 so far and ahead at this stage of the season. They almost look like they're sort of certainly going to be in that top 4. But other than that, it's very much still to play for at the top and bottom of the table. And
we can have a little look, Rob, at some of the fixtures coming up, because when you look at what West Brom have coming up, they only have to play Leicester amongst those teams at the top. You don't want to say that any fixture in the Championship is easier than another, because we know the nature of this league. Anybody can beat just about anybody, but you look at those fixtures and they do have an opportunity, you'd have to say, to really strengthen their grip on the top 6.
Yeah, because not just the fixtures, the Leicester game, of course, is going to be huge, but they have an opportunity to keep the momentum, because the one thing, and I know, because when I was at Nottingham Forest, we kind of dropped in momentum towards the end of the season, and we went into the playoffs, and it was very difficult. So the key for them is psychologically to keep that momentum, keep picking up points, keep confident, going into, okay, if it is playoffs, we're on a good roll, we're ready for the playoffs. And if it is that, is managing that by wins, by picking up points, by finishing the season strong, and see where they are, really.
And when you look at today's game, they came up against a team fighting for their lives in Huddersfield, came out really fast, really strong first half. They weathered that storm in a way, got themselves sorted at half-time and turned it around in the second half. They're going to have to face a lot of teams who come out at them like Huddersfield did in that first half. So that confidence that they'll have picked up from today could really help them too. Yeah,
absolutely. Listen, I think to get in the top 6, you have to have a lot of different attributes, and certainly from West Brom's point of view today, to go a goal behind and turn it around like they did, huge credit must go to them. And as I say, come the end of the season, that'll stand them in good stead for sure.
We can also take a little look at the teams just below them, who they've got coming up. So Norwich, Coventry and Hull, we look at their fixtures coming up as well, and bearing in mind that West Brom only have to play Leicester from the sort of top teams in the league. Do they have the more favourable run-in, do you think, Rob?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I would say so, because you want to pick up the so-called easier games, because Leicester's and the Leeds and the Ipswich, of course, they're tough. And I see Norwich there especially. All 3 teams, Coventry, Hull, Norwich, all got a chance. And you see Norwich, they've got to play the Leicesters. They've got to play then Ipswich. Even Sheffield Wednesday fighting down the bottom. Yes, okay, but it's going to be difficult. Bristol City. So all of those are going to be tough. All of them got chances. Now, can you keep your head in this situation coming towards the last little stretch of the season? Can you keep your momentum? Can you keep winning games? Can you keep your mind right going into those last few games? That's the key.
One of the teams that we haven't mentioned is your team, Tommy, Middlesbrough. They're in 11th at the moment with a game in hand. If you win that game in hand on Tuesday night against Birmingham, you're really not far off it. 5 points, I think, off 6th place Norwich. I mean, what are the ambitions? What are the conversations in the dressing room sort of like at the moment in terms of where you might be targeting to finish?
Honestly, it's not really conversations that we have. You know, we've got a very, very good bunch of players and staff up at Middlesbrough, very level-headed. And it's, as I say, it's not really a conversation that we have. That's the honest truth. We know how difficult this league is as a squad. We know that a couple of wins can propel you up the league, but we also know a couple of losses, you can get sucked right into it. I think this time last week, you know, on the back of a defeat, we were 6 points off the relegation zone.
You know, isn't it?
We've put 2 wins together this last week, one on Wednesday night against Norwich, and then obviously one yesterday against QPR. You win on Tuesday, and potentially you could be 5 points off it. So we know that there's a lot of swings and, you know, this league is just crazy and how it can swing from one end to the other. But we'll look forward to the game on Tuesday. I'm sure the lads will go there and give a really good account of themselves, and we'll see where we stand after 40.